Hello, I'm Congressman Adam Schiff with some troubling news. Today, Kevin McCarthy removed me from the House Intelligence Committee.
Pfizer ultimately is thinking about mutating COVID.
President Biden says he won't negotiate over raising the debt ceiling.
Adam Schiff is out with a new announcement that's going to shock the world. Rand Paul is the only one that cares about the debt ceiling, except for me and 5 other people, apparently. Project Veritas has a brand new video out. What is, in fact, a woman? The GOP and their new tax plan that Democrats are so scared about. All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in to Daily Caller Live on today. It is January 26th. 26th? Yeah, 26th. Thursday, the year of our Lord 2022. Got a lot going on today. Remember Adam Schiff, former member of the House Intel Committee, is no longer, which is funny, and I don't know, I just think it's funny. He is out with a brand new TikTok video and also brand new big announcement that he's making, and we'll talk about that. Also, I really want to, okay, let me know in the comment section here, because I don't know how much to talk about this. The debt and the debt ceiling, in my mind, are the most important freaking things that we can all be talking about, but nobody cares. So I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, do you care about the debt? Should we talk about the debt? Should I play this big, long video of Rand Paul talking about why the debt ceiling and negotiation on budgeting is a problem? Or should we just gloss over it like everybody else? Also, Project Veritas out with a brand new video, too, that's pretty dank fascinating. All right, first of all, first things first, I made myself laugh with this little car. What a load of bullshit. Adam Schiff, the congressman from California, the LA area specifically, was removed from his committee assignments, or the big committee assignments, by Kevin McCarthy officially yesterday. So Kevin McCarthy gets in as speaker, says we're going to remove Adam Schiff from the Intel Committee. We're also going to remove Eric Swalwell and Ilhan Omar, I believe, from their big-time committee assignments, because you can just do that. Generally, okay, so here's what's happening, right? Generally speaking, the Speaker of the House allows the Democrats to pick whoever their Democrats they want on these specific committees, and they just say, okay, fine. That has been the long-standing tradition on who gets to pick who's on what committee, and it hasn't been a problem for the longest time. What Democrats and Adam Schiff are saying now is that this is unprecedented. Adam Schiff is being taken off his committee assignment despite Democrat wishes by the evil, evil GOP leadership and Kevin McCarthy. The problem is the unprecedented part is not exactly true. Before this, like I said, generally speaking, the Speaker of the House would play ball with the other side and say, yeah, put your whoever on this committee, whatever. And that would be how it works. Last year, though, Nancy Pelosi, actually a couple of years ago, while in the last Congress, Nancy Pelosi, however, took a bunch of people off of their committee assignments. I don't know if they actually went through that. I believe they took Marjorie Taylor Greene off of her committee assignments. And also, there was a big, big beef about allowing Congressman Jim Jordan and Jim Banks on the January 6th committee to have some sort of Republican buffer or conservative buffer to go, hold on, wait a minute. You guys aren't handling this as well as you should be at all. So that was the precedent set by the previous speaker, Nancy Pelosi. Because remember, the long-standing tradition is the speaker's just like, yeah, put whoever you want, we'll work it out. But Nancy Pelosi first said, no, not these guys. And so Kevin McCarthy, once he gets the gavel and the speakership, says, okay, since you guys did this, we're going to do that, and we're going to boot Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, Ilhan Omar off of their committee assignments. And two, for good reason, right? That's just the traditional, component around it. But if you also account for the fact that Eric Swalwell, not a great dude by a lot of measures, Adam Schiff, who repeatedly, while on the Intel Committee, said, I have seen with my own eyes visual proof that Donald Trump colluded with Russia. That turned out to be entirely false. Just on those principles alone, you could say, yeah, maybe pick another Democrat. Like this guy's an insane person. So on both fronts, the traditional component, well, Nancy Pelosi did it first, so that's, I guess, we're just going to counteract what Nancy Pelosi was doing. And also, seriously, this guy, like Kevin McCarthy's probably saying, I'm okay with Democrats on this committee, but the guy who kept lying about the intelligence, why him? Anyways, with that context in mind, Adam Schiff then put out a TikTok, which is fascinating in and of itself, considering the problems surrounding TikTok and US/foreign Chinese intelligence. Put out a TikTok video that said this. I know that was a long lead up, but I want you to get the full understanding of what's happening and the fact that Kevin McCarthy seems to be entirely in the right on both fronts in removing Schiff from this committee, and listen to how he complains and calls it just an evil thing that he's been taking off the committees. Check this out, and we will discuss on the other side. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button down here. Would really, really appreciate you doing that, especially if you're watching on Facebook, especially if you're watching on my page on Facebook. Would really appreciate you. And let us know in the comment section, do you have any thoughts about Adam Schiff? Also, I still want to know, I'm going to read through on whether or not we care about the debt ceiling. So anyways, check this out. This is Adam Schiff from TikTok.
Hello, I'm Congressman Adam Schiff with some troubling news. Today, Kevin McCarthy removed me from the House Intelligence Committee, all for doing my job, for holding Trump accountable and standing up to the extreme MAGA Republicans. We knew it would be bad when the Republicans took over, but it's far worse than we expected. But I can promise you this is not the end of my fight for our democracy. This is just the beginning. Please join us and contribute today. Thank you.
I love that. So that's it. That's Adam Schiff's TikTok. Okay, so he goes and says that this is why I was removed, for holding Donald Trump accountable. Like, all right, dude, if you think that anybody buys that, unfortunately, there are people that buy that. Not us, clearly. Anybody who's paying just a slight amount of attention understands that Adam Schiff doing his thing there, just playing politics. And yeah, dude, you got kicked off because you're just an asshat. That's the reason for it. And because Nancy Pelosi set a precedent last Congress. So, you know, this is, by the way, I don't like this being the way that Congress is played. I wish the United States of America and the people that occupy this great country paid more attention to what's going on, so Adam Schiff couldn't get away with all of the lies that he said while on the Intel Committee. But okay, so this is what I think is the most fascinating part about this. He puts out this whole thing. Kevin McCarthy is after me. Donald Trump is after me. The world is after me. Contribute today. As if your financial contribution would change any of this stuff. Of course it wouldn't. So then why is he asking for your financial contribution? Well, interestingly enough, to coincide with his removal from the Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff launched a new Schiff show. He's running for the Senate in the state of California and put out this ad, coincidentally, on the same day. Check this out.
I've always believed that what's right matters, that the truth matters, and that decency matters. And when a dangerous demagogue tried to undermine our democracy, I wasn't about to let him. You can't trust this president to do the right thing, not for 1 minute, not for one election, not for the sake of our country.
Adam Schiff is a corrupt politician.
Adam Schiff is a modern-day Joe McCarthy.
Little pencil neck.
A national disgrace. He is unfit to hold office.
I thought that was funny that he put that stuff in his commercial. And also I stopped it there because I didn't want him to go on to his big, long thing. But the bottom line is Adam Schiff, seeing the writing on the wall, playing politics as usual, being as cynical as a person could be, says, I've been removed for my acts against the dictator Donald Trump. And if you contribute today, you can help stop the Republicans. Also, by the way, I'm running for Senate. the Senate seat in California, Dianne Feinstein, who is at least 1,000 years old. I believe her 1,000th birthday was last week. Clearly, well, actually, no, I think she says she's intending to run, which is insane. But there's going to be a really, really interesting run between the likes of Adam Schiff, who is just so wacko, and Katie Porter. Remember Katie Porter? She's oh wow, the words that I was going to use to describe Katie Porter were not kind. She's the gal who writes on the whiteboard and for some reason represents Orange County, or parts of Orange County, which is one of the more conservative places in the state of California. But she's also announced that she's running for Senate. So a Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, who's more woke and who's more progressive for the U.S. Senate, which is going to be hilarious. So yes, Clint says Batgirl? Yes, that Katie Porter, the one who showed up dressed as Batwoman, Bat-They, to some congressional committee hearing. And yeah, wow, you guys are very, very playful with Adam Schiff's name, and I appreciate it. He's a lying sack of Schiff, Adam Bull Schiff. What a Schiff show. I like it in the comment section. Very, very nice. Piece of Schiff. This is enjoyable for me. I like it. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm excited about Adam Schiff versus Katie Porter. I think that'll be really, really interesting, and I hope they tear themselves down just because that's how a campaign is run. Anyways, moving on to this. I still have, so I think I've got my answer. I asked at the beginning of the show if you guys would let me know in the comment section if anybody cares about the debt. I think it's the most important thing facing our country. That and China are huge problems, but for some reason we focus entirely on which bathrooms all 38 transgender people in this country can use. And not the debt ceiling at all. And I have 0 comments saying, yeah, let's talk about the debt ceiling. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we won't. But before, I'll let some room for the comment section to blow up about the debt ceiling go in just a little bit. But until then, we'll play this Veritas video. So Project Veritas, our friends over at Project Veritas, the hidden camera extraordinaires, put out another video of, they put out another video. You probably know Project Veritas if you haven't heard about them recently from the Nothing Burger Van Jones clip. Geez, what is that, 6-7 years ago now? They've got all these undercover cameras. They've got a bunch of people from Pfizer saying, yeah, Pfizer this, Pfizer that. They got a bunch of people from Twitter more recently. That's probably the last notable thing that you've heard from them. But this is a Pfizer employee. I forget what his title is, talking about possibly mutating COVID. Now, just for the record, I'll say this out here and up front. I'm not assuming any of this is entirely legit. I don't know. I'm just playing for you what is out there. I can imagine this particular individual is not going to issue any statements regarding that. I'm just playing for you what a lot of conservative media is also playing. And, take that for what it is. Check this out. This is kind of interesting to see if, see if anybody is going to get in trouble over this. All right, check it out. Watch this.
Pfizer ultimately is thinking about mutating COVID?
Well, that is not what we say to the public. No, don't tell anyone this. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. We're exploring, now, how the virus keeps mutating?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're exploring is, why don't we just mutate it ourselves so we could preemptively develop new vaccines, right? So we have to do that. If we're going to do that, though, there's a risk of, as you could imagine, no one wants to be having a pharma company mutating viruses. You have to be, very controlled to make sure that this virus that you mutate doesn't create something that, goes everywhere.
Something crazy.
Fact is the way that the virus started in Wuhan. To be honest, it makes no sense if this virus popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know.
Meet Jordan Tristan Walker, a director of research and development strategic operations and mRNA scientific planning at Pfizer.
It sounds like gain of function to me.
I don't know, it's a little bit different. I think it's different. It's like it's definitely not gain of function. It
Sounds like it is. I mean, it's okay.
No, directed evolution is very different. Well, you're not supposed to do gain of function research with the viruses. Like, they recommend not. But you do like these like selected directional mutations to try to see if you can make it more potent.
Yeah.
So there is research ongoing about that. I don't know how that's gonna work. There might not be any more outbreaks because like Jesus Christ.
The gentleman seems to have absolutely no moral compass at all.
It's a revolving door for all government officials. It's pretty good for the industry, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, so that's basically that. You can watch the entire thing. I believe it's on Twitter and YouTube. Maybe we'll play a little bit more of it. But the bottom line here is this. This guy is a director of research, according to Veritas. I did not independently verify this guy's employment with Pfizer or the Pfizer company. I'm just, again, putting out there what is out there. Basically saying, hey, if we mutate the virus ourselves, this guy's from Pfizer talking, if we mutate if we mutate the disease ourselves, then we can give people more shots and charge them more money. Who knows? I don't know. Seems legit, and I can't imagine that our buddies over at Veritas would lie about that or make anything of that up. But kind of bad. That's basically it for that. I encourage you go watch the entire thing yourself. I don't know. This whole information thing is very bizarre and very weird. I have no reason to doubt the validity of this, but holy cow, this would be out there for people to do. Okay, that's it. You should go watch that video on Twitter, Project Veritas. Let's see. I want to talk about this because I feel like this is pretty important from a day-to-day actual conversational thing. Here's why I feel like the Veritas stuff or the Pfizer stuff is you either have got it or you don't in terms of shot stuff, and you are either on one side or another. I don't think many people are changing their minds. The only thing that's happening is people solidifying their own correctness, which I don't need more of that. So that's why I don't know. I'm not super excited about that video. I'm more excited about this whole thing, the fake GOP tax controversy. Let's see. Oh, interesting. It got some interesting comments here about well, maybe we'll read those later. But I want to move on to this whole fake controversy around the taxes stuff. So you might have been hearing on the news, on Twitter, on the Facebook, that some of your big leading politicians saying some dumb things about what is actually being proposed at the GOP congressional level. Let me read something from Elizabeth Warren because I feel like she always does the best. Groceries, rent, diapers, gas, car payments, you name it, everything would get 30% more expensive if House Republicans get their way and pass a national sales tax, and millionaires and billionaires would get a tax break. Let's stop it in its tracks. You may have heard stuff like that. The GOP is trying to raise taxes by 30% on sale of everything. There's a couple things going on here. First of all, if you haven't heard about this sort of thing, that's what's happening. And if you hear about it, because you probably will, because this is a big Democrat talking point nowadays, you probably will hear over the next coming days that Republicans are trying to raise sales tax on everything by 30%. There is a bill in Congress that would eliminate income tax. So they always forget to mention that part. Okay, yeah, they're going to eliminate taking 40% and institute 30% of a sales tax and kind of a trade-off. That's what the bill says right now. So to say that it would just make everything 30% more expensive, considering that it would eliminate income tax, is just completely inaccurate, completely false, and lying about it. That's what's going on there. Now, the other side of that is House Republicans have no intention of actually getting this passed and signed into law. They've promoted this bill for their own constituents. They are trying to say, hey, look, we're trying to get rid of income tax here, which everybody's for, by the way. Everyone's like, yes, income tax sucks. Let's not pay it anymore. So in order to I don't know if I want to call it a virtue signaling, but a signal to their base. House Republicans are saying, hey, we're going to get rid of income tax and we're going to instead replace it with this sales tax, and that's how we're going to do it. One, the bill won't actually get through the House. I can't imagine. If it does, it's to pander to their side. And two, it definitely won't get through the Democrat-controlled Senate. And if for some reason it did, which it won't, Joe Biden won't actually sign it. The bottom line here is that this bill that Democrats are saying Republicans are trying to force on the American people is dead on arrival. I don't think it will get through committee in the House, and it definitely won't get through the floor, and it definitely won't get through the Senate committee, and it definitely won't get through the Senate floor, and it definitely won't get signed by the president. So they're complaining about a thing that has no reason. There's no reason to complain about it because there's no possibility that it'll even exist. Yet they're still complaining about it and going on MSNBC and saying things like this. This is Senator John Tester from Montana talking about how bad the fake bill that isn't real would be for Americans and Montanans specifically. Watch this.
We do not want a sales tax in Montana, and we do not want the federal government telling us, oh, no, you have no say over this. We're going to drive one down your throat because it'll increase costs. It'll hurt business. It'll really hurt working families across our state. And I'll tell you, that's not the right thing to do. And I think, quite frankly, it's a silly doggone idea. And like I said, over my dead body, we'll fight every day until this thing goes down to defeat.
Yeah. What a weird game politics is. Like, what a dumb thing. So, yes, there is a bill that says that's trying to eliminate income tax and do sales tax. And there's a couple people in the comment section here that say, let me see. Bob says sales tax is fairer than income tax. I would agree in a lot of ways. But the bottom line here is it won't get done, and the House Republicans that are pushing it are trying to play to their base, saying, look, we tried. But then we're having tangential arguments over things that aren't real at the basis of it, which is, I think, the real point I'm trying to make is what the hell is going on with our politics now that we have these derivative arguments over a thing that isn't real to begin with. That's like I'm saying, this desk is yellow. Does it look yellow in the video? It doesn't. But okay, this desk is green. Me saying this desk is green, and then somebody else saying, well, green is a primary color. And there's, well, no, green is not a primary color. It's this and this, and then having different arguments based off of the not real statement of this desk being green. That's the bottom line of what I'm trying to get to. We're having these tangential arguments and these derivative arguments in politics that is not moving the ball forward at all in any way, shape, or form, and both parties are complicit in it. They both do it. If Democrats had one side of Congress and not the other, they always put up these dumb bills of, I don't know, transgenders get $1 million a year in basic income. Then that'll never pass the GOP-led Senate when it does flip, and the GOP president will never sign it. But they pass it, or they put it up so that they can say to their base and their donors, we want this for you. That's what Republicans are doing right now, and that's, I don't know. I don't know. I wish we didn't put up with this political nonsense as a people. So there's that. I want to end. Wow, you know what? Geez, there's still. You know what? I'm talking about it anyway. There is zero appetite for this in the comment section of an audience that I would imagine is more conservative and more concerned about. I don't know, all of the different money problems that the United States has. I would imagine if any audience is like concerned about that, it is this audience. But even so, I think judging by the comment section that I asked several times, I don't think anybody actually cares. But I'm going to play this anyway. This is Rand Paul. So we're about to hit the debt ceiling, and we're pulling a bunch of accounting maneuvers to not hit the debt ceiling. But we have like a $32 trillion, what is it? As Washington hits its $31.4 trillion debt limit and begins using accounting gimmicks to borrow until the summer, the new Republican House majority is geared up for a fight to extract budget savings. This is from the Washington Examiner? No, who's this? This isn't the Washington Examiner. This is Politico. They're saying it was basically the bottom line is we're about to hit our debt ceiling, and it is a huge problem, and it's probably one of the biggest, most detrimental issues that we have as a country as a whole. But nobody cares, nobody's talking about it, except for people like Rand Paul. So Republicans are saying we're going to hit this debt ceiling. We can't. This is a huge problem, and maybe instead of just increasing the debt limit, I don't know. Maybe we should cut spending. Imagine if you were having a conversation with your wife or your husband and you're maxed out on all of your credit cards. And the conversation is not, hey, maybe we should cut our spending just a little bit. Maybe we don't need jet skis this summer. No. Let's just take out another credit cards and buy those jet skis. That's what this conversation is like. At the federal government level, nobody is willing to cut spending at all. But now that House Republicans have the majority, and you've got people like Rand Paul in the Senate who really, really care about this sort of stuff, they're saying, hey, we're not going to negotiate on raising the debt ceiling until some sort of even minuscule budget cut is made. We can't afford to keep living like, I don't know, coked up binge buyers on Amazon. It's just not possible. We can't continue doing it. And the only thing I think Republicans are saying, at least Rand Paul is saying, is that we have to just make minor budget cuts before they're ultimately going to inevitably raise the debt ceiling. That's what's ultimately going to happen. But they're saying we're not going to raise the debt ceiling until we make some sort of incremental move towards not having such an overloaded budget. I care about this a lot, but I feel like nobody in the comment section cares at all, except for Susan. Susan says, "I love Rand Paul." Let me play this Rand Paul clip, and then that's pretty much it. We're going to raise the debt ceiling, and Republicans are trying to get an incremental budget cut, but who knows if that's actually going to happen. Check this out. Also, if you haven't, by the way, I see there's more of you watching right now. I see this little counter thing that have clicked the little like button. So if you wouldn't mind clicking the little like button down here or the emoji button, maybe this makes you very upset, as it does me. Maybe you don't care about it at all. Maybe this is an eye roll emoji. I don't know. Let us know in the comment section too what you think about this. And whether or not anybody cares about Bob says, and then eliminate the U.S. Department of Education. You know what? Yeah, I'm all for it. Just start cutting bureaucracy. Just all of this bureaucratic programs, just cut all of it. Anyways, check this out from Rand Paul, and we'll discuss a little bit more on the other side.
President Biden says he won't negotiate over raising the debt ceiling. I have news for him. He absolutely will negotiate. Conservatives will not vote to raise the debt ceiling. The majority in the House, Republican majority in the House, will not vote to raise the debt ceiling without significant budget reform. The greatest threat to our country and the greatest threat to our national security is the debt. One of the great things about where we are now, though, is it really doesn't take as much as you would think to actually balance the budget. In Europe, over half of the countries balance their annual budget. We think of Europe, of Germany and Sweden, of having these large governments, and they do, but they're actually fiscally responsible in the sense that they spend what comes in. We could do it in our country. If we were to have a $100 billion cut, which would still have us spending way more than we spent before COVID, a $100 billion cut in free spending, we would balance our budget in just 4 years. This is amazing. We have an opportunity here. It could be done, but it would take compromise between both parties. Republicans would have to give up the sacred cow that says we will never touch a dollar in military, and the Democrats would have to give up the sacred cow that they will never touch a dollar in welfare. Everything would have to be looked across the board. No one has a sacred area that would be immune, and when you make the cuts across the board, they aren't as big as you'd actually think they would be. It's a responsible thing to do, but President Biden needs to know, absolutely, he will negotiate, and it's better to start now.
Yeah, Again, that could have been a very, very boring speech for you, but this is the only thing I care about. The only thing I freaking care about is government spending. I mean, I care about a lot of other things too, but they're all a proxy of government spending. So there's that. That'll do it for us today. I'm going to save this. There's a very, very funny women these days video clip that I'll save for tomorrow because it's Friday, and Fridays are generally a little bit more fun, maybe. Yeah, we'll cut it off there. Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the debt ceiling. There's a couple people that say, let's see, Chaz says Rand Paul is incredible. Brian says Rand Paul 2024. Karen says maybe a lot of more people do care, and maybe we just have to talk about it, not leave it up to preemptive commenters talking about the debt ceiling. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms. Just type in JOBOB. Oh, I click this. This is the little share sign that I do. I share the little like share button. That's not what you do here. Just type in JOBOB to pretty much anywhere social media related, just on the Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Getter, True Social. I don't use True Social really at all. But you can find me there. I have that handle. Just type in JOBOB. You'll be able to find me. You can continue the conversation there. I usually get back to a lot of things. And then, we will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, wrapping up the week, headed on into the weekend, Friday. Always love Friday. We will see you then. Same time, same place. God bless America.